What you take from humanities is the desire and ability to have polite, civil conversations about issues about which you don't agree, which, as we know from the current political debates, is not always the way.
We live today in an age of Twitter and Facebook and sound bites. How do you go deeper into the reasons why, what it means to be human, what we value, why we value it, and how we can think about our society and our relationships in a deeper way. And I think the humanities provides that lens to really do that in an authentic way.
I think we're too often pigeonholed into thinking about the humanities as something for academics or something that only college kids worry about.
We work very hard to make sure that we lower barriers to participation in the humanities. We believe that the humanities belong to everyone.
To have a complete life, you know, a person would have to be the best that they could be, whatever that is.
That sounds about right.
Happiness is knowing that you are, in fact, achieving the kind of excellence that you're capable of, that you're living in such a way that allows you the fulfillment that you seek as a human being.
To sit in a room with everybody here and discuss books like these and walk outside and look up and say, damn, it's raining. Yeah. You know, as close to death as I was at one point, this is a blessing. I mean, this is just great. So,
I'm now prepared to go out there and hold and grasp on to things that I know I can do. When I started at the Odyssey Project, I was what they call, I used to make up beds and clean rooms and stuff like that. But now I'm the activities coordinator and next in line to be the supervisor of St. Francis Shelter. And which came, I believe, because of some things that happened in the Odyssey Project. I didn't know that I could do it, but now I feel I can.
This program is the essence of everything that we're about. And the graduation for the Odyssey Project should be bottled as an antidote to depression and anomie, because if you go to that graduation and you see how important this study was to these people and their families, you would never doubt the value of a liberal arts education.
One of the reasons that I worked with the Illinois Humanities Council over the years is because I think the humanities play a really important role in our democracy.
Democracy is not really something that, it's not hereditary, can't be handed down. It's something that each generation has to make the decision to take upon themselves, to protect it, to define it for themselves and make it work.
And looking at statistics, like a third of a generation is born under the poverty line.
And 80% of the people that are in jail are high school dropouts.
One has to ask themselves,
are there really grounds for hope in America?
The Illinois Humanities Council has these great programs that bring groups of people into the public square to talk about things that are, as citizens in our democracy, we should be caring about.
Many programs at the IHC allow different viewpoints to be discussed in an environment where it is open, candid, but civil discussion.
We don't want to make the mistake in 2012 of somehow thinking that the election of anybody, even President Obama, somehow substitutes for the building of a movement.
Programs like this are important. These young people are the next generation. They have a lot to teach my generation and the generation behind me.
Well, any place, not only that gives people a voice, but that allows for an exchange of ideas between different people with different perspectives, I think is absolutely critical to reaching the sort of critical mass that is necessary to begin to actually create change.
We got to rebuild our communities, and we got to be able to have discourse and conversation. We got to agree, we got to disagree, and I think you do that in places like this.
Humanities are really a methodology to how to think about things, achieving a synthesis in your own mind and in the minds of the other participants in the conversation is the objective. The Humanities Council was very transformational in my life because I started as a typical businessman, and then when I got involved with the Humanities Council, I started a master's degree at the University of Chicago in humanities. I became much more interested in the intellectual side of business. The difference between greed and the more sensible pursuit of money and success and capital formation. I think that's a very interesting philosophical question.
Jack was someone who really understood how much the business community and the humanities community could learn from each other and really help to foster that kind of communication.
He's a man who understands the role of civic leadership and has served on a number of boards throughout the city, university, cultural institutions, and he understands that to be a leader in this community, you have to support the groups that make it possible to have the kind of discussion the Illinois Humanities Council permits, and groups that have other functions in the civil society.
The humanities, the study of the humanities, there are no winners and there are no losers. There's no first place, last place. It's arriving at truth through open conversation.
Now the broad Illinois flows glossy and gliding, the crooked Kaskaskia flows weaving and winding, the southern Sangamon, it crosses the plain, and I never will walk by the Ambra again.